Reports are coming in that they could be bidding for Tyler Adams. £35 million price tag. There's been reports around his price tag as well. Is Tyler Adams the third midfielder that all Manchester United fans were hoping for? And is he the third midfielder that's going to solve Manchester United's midfield issue and going to be able to compete for Premier Leagues, which is where we should be aiming for? In my opinion, he is not. I will go into details as to why that is. And do we have to come round to the thought that Manchester United might just be broke? We might just not have any money, and Tyler Adams is looking like the most financially possible deal. But should he be the midfielder that Manchester United should be going for? I think it's pretty obvious what you guys are going to say, but get your comments in. There is substantial news coming in about this. And also, when you look at all the other midfield options, there is obstacles in the way as to why they can't happen. I am still holding out hope that Tchouaméni could happen. We've got an update on Tchouaméni as well, which we will bring in. No centre-back, why I think that's a mistake. And also Joshua Zirkzee exiting and a striker coming in. A striker that plays for Club Brugge could be heading to Manchester United. A late report coming in about that just before we started the show. So get your comments in, let us know. I did think we were going to go for an experienced striker. This is a young player. We'll talk about him later on in the show, but get your comments in.
We're expecting things to start moving. Maybe today is a little bit of movement and a little bit more encouragement that United might actually not be just standing still. We're talking Lewis, or we're talking a different striker on the scene. Tresoldi. Hey, you didn't know I was going to be talking about him tonight, did you? We're talking about what the Athletic said regarding Harry Mass and the impact of Lewis Hall as well regarding Manchester United's left-hand side hunt, because it does look like that is one area of the pitch that United are going to be definitely improving. Is this linked to a cheaper midfielder as well? A bit concerning, I'm going to be honest, but then again, and who was reporting the news kind of give me a little bit more encouragement. All will be revealed in the show. Get your comments in the live chat, please. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you're feeling right now. There's lots of information to get through today. Lots of little bits of news. Big updates on the outgoing side of things more than anything else, I would say. But I think that them outgoing bits of news are definitely signs that there is let's just say a couple of set targets for the incoming side of things as well. So let's start with the left back situation. Obviously earlier on today you would have seen the news. Didn't report on it this morning. It was a kind of a different show this morning, so I saved everything for today and seen what else come about. So obviously we know that from what the Athletic said this morning, Lewis Hall is obviously a Manchester United target. There have been other people talking about this, about talks going on and things like this, but we're basically judging this off what Laurie Whitwell said regarding the situation with Harry Mass. I didn't see the Mass one coming, I've got to be honest. For Manchester United to be moving an academy player on and open to offers in the region of 6 million. Now, you may think that, oh, Adam, 6 million? Please don't be linking Harry Mass to Lewis Hall and Manchester United going out buying a fullback. Well, the situation is, obviously, Luke Shaw is going to be leaving at the end of this season. Harry Mass, I would have thought, would have been one to maybe come in and actually maybe play second fiddle or challenge a new left back coming in. And United are going to have to be bold if they want to go and get Lewis Hall. So let's just see if Lewis Hall does pop up onto the radar in the next coming weeks for Manchester United, because I can't think of any other player, although saying that usually is the way that Man United have gone this summer and surprised us all by going for somebody else. I just know that that player fits what Manchester United want. We went and spent big on Luke Shaw back in the day when we brought a young left back coming in from Southampton. This comes across as well. There's a little bit of this that includes this next bit of news, which I was warning you about before, which was the worrying side of Manchester United. Now, the only thing that kept me comfortable with this, the fact that it was Alex Crook talking about it. And look, I know Alex Crook has got connections at Bournemouth, and that's the only reason this probably got the traction it did earlier on today. But he was saying earlier on, if you didn't see it, that Manchester United are giving serious consideration to putting a bid in for Tyler Adams. That would be shot short when it comes to the midfield. That's, even though we don't rate Tyler Adams, it's still going to be 3 midfielders in. That's it for United. And everybody started to brick it earlier on when that news came about. There is a scenario in this window where United go cheaper on the midfielder and go and get a top-notch left back. And again, it links it together a little bit, this story. Amas being sold, cheaper third option in midfield. I pray to God it isn't. I really do pray. But I'm only trying to put this together at the moment and what might potentially be going on here. But 35 million for Tyler Adams is the sort of talking price and figure going around at the moment. Now, I've said this before. Tyler Adams is a very good player, and that's as far as it goes. His injury record is as bad as Mason Mount's. And look, you know that I'm on top of the injury stuff. We've had plenty of debates and fallouts regarding injury-prone players throughout this summer already. The likes of Camavinga, the likes of Manu Kone. But Tyler Adams, he takes it to a whole new level of injury record. My God, this guy has had a, oh God, he lives on that treatment table. He does. He literally misses half a season every single season, is what we say. He averages 22 games a season. That's his record since moving to Bournemouth. That, for me, is a big, big red flag. And remember what I was saying? Did I say it this morning? I might have said it last night. If United are hell big on the data analysis side of things right now, and this is how this club is going to be run, Tyler Adams should be nowhere near that list. I don't care about the stats and the running stats, the passes, the progressive passes, the recoveries, the obviously through balls, through the line, whatever. Any single stat that you want, I don't care. There's one big stat that sits above all of them when it comes to Tyler Adams, and that's, are you available, mate? And the answer more often than not is no, I'm not. Sorry, boss. I'm going to have to sit this one out again. Okay. And then you're looking at three midfielders all of a sudden. Look, he might have a great season. Luke Shaw gives everybody hope when it comes to injuries, doesn't he? And what happened last year. And there is hope for everybody when you look at what Luke Shaw went through. But this is a midfielder who's expected to get up and down that pitch. We know that Luke Shaw is very limited in what he does and how he obviously moves and operates up and down that pitch. He's mainly a left-back, a defending type of left-back, isn't he? So a midfielder with a bad injury record is a little bit more concerning, because he's going to be a lot busier than what a left-back would be, in my opinion, in terms of the amount of movement and ground he's going to be covering. He's going to be here, there, and bloody everywhere. And when it comes to what Michael Carrick wants to do with two players going up and down that pitch, we've already seen that Manu's running stats under Michael Carrick actually went above Bruno Fernandes. So there is a strict system in place here, and Michael Carrick's midfielders graft. They put in more miles than anybody else, and that was proven with Michael Carrick and Manu. So if you're looking at Tyler Adams, I'm sorry, you've got to look at him and be very, very concerned if Manchester United are looking at him. And the worry and the concern is warranted. I know a lot of people were going more down the road of Tyler Adams, are you serious, you cheapskates and whatnots. It was pretty much the message from earlier on. And it does look poor. Look, if you were buying a decent midfielder and then going big on a fullback, there might be some Man United fans that go, all right, we can see what they're trying to do here. We're going for the best that there is at left back. We've already got three adequate midfielders, probably more than adequate when you look at Tielemans, Manu, and then you're obviously looking at the two new ones again on top of that, which would have been, let's just use Tyler Adams, for instance, here, him and Santos. Look, I'm not saying that's the best midfield, far from it, but it's definitely a bit more flexible than what we had last season. Go for the left back and spend big on him, then you've got a little bit of a get out on that. But no one's convinced United they're going to go big on Lewis Hall anyway. And then the excuse will come out that we did try and sign the player, but it just wasn't happening. It went too high. Look, I don't want to hear it. The best thing for United to do is concentrate on that midfielder and get the right one in. Not try and be cheap and think that you're being very clever with it. Because we know, for one, that Tyler Adams is definitely, in terms of quality, right at the bottom of our list of every single one of them midfielders. No disrespect at all, but there's a reason why in this crazy inflated market of midfielders, he's 35 million. I'm just going to say it. Simple as. Yep, they're looking at the injury record, they're looking at the quality of the player, and everybody knows that he isn't up there with the top players. We've already done two great deals in terms of the actual value for players in Tielemans and Santos. Fair enough. Don't go and do another one now and make it super cheap. We're not, if we don't spend over 150 million on this midfield, big questions are going to be asked. Major questions are going to be asked, because that would then leave us in the world where we needed to spend massive amounts of money on a left back and a new forward just to try and cover our asses. in that we're not being really cheap. That's how I see this situation now anyway. So, yeah, Tyler Adams cheap to make room for Lewis Hall, potentially, financially. Not convinced one bit with that one. Not one bit. Right now, I would take Carlos Baleba in a heartbeat. With these conversations that are going around, I just would. I'd go and give Brighton 75 million quid now and take Carlos Baleba. They probably want more at this point now. The longer United leave it, I don't know if it's going to play into their hands or not. Brighton are bold, and they're probably going to be like, well, if you want to come now, you're going to have to spend more. And that does worry me as well a little bit with the midfielders. Let's get into the comment section and let's get some of your thoughts on this and everything that is going down here. Frank says, Adam, would you take Basuma? He's available on a free transfer now. Not a chance in hell, mate. And not with his personal life record and what's happened there. And the misconduct record that he's also got. And we all know what the rumours are about him in his personal life. And we obviously know the misconduct situations that he's had with Spurs already. There's a reason a player like that, of that age, who's played in the Premier League, is a free agent. I just said the same thing pretty much for Tyler Adams, except not in the same way. Obviously, if you're a free agent, nobody wants you. It's as simple as that. Where's Jadon Sancho gone, by the way? Point proven. Definitely not, mate. 100% Frank. Thanks for the question, though, mate. This Manu glaze mirrors Rashford and needs to be checked until he does something. This Manu glaze mirrors Rashford, and I'm not sure what that means there, mate, on that one. Sick of this club. It's an absolute joke of the way we are run. Well, I've said this before. Look, I'm all for like them proving us wrong. And look, I like them dying on their sword and sticking to a plan. I do. I like this. You all know my thoughts. And if you watch the channel, I'm not going to go back onto what I was moaning about this morning about Ineos. You have to just watch that video back. But you all know where I'm at when it comes to the idea of looking at better deals and being clever in the transfer markets. I'm all for it. But there is a line. And that line's crossed if you go and buy Tyler Adams. It's as simple as that. Again, I would give up on the data analysis side of things. Just too quickly, and we were talking about the defence not being looked at either when it comes to Manchester United's transfer window. The expectation for Lisandro Martinez, he's back for the start of the season. So good news. Manchester United do have one player coming back from that injury, and then De Ligt will come back into the early spells and part of October by all accounts. So yeah, I mean, the centre-back position doesn't look that bad when you've got 5 all fit. Can we keep 5 all fit with all the games we've got? We might have to now because we're definitely not buying a centre-back. That's one thing for certain anyway.
The expectation, as I told you in the last videos, is for Chelsea to accelerate their pursuit of new signings, experienced signings, because they are advancing for Danny Welbeck, 35 years old. They are advancing for Jordan Henderson, 36 years old. So both deals are expected to happen, and I will keep you posted in the next hours and days. But let me restart by mentioning the Yann Diomande story, because today, from France, from really important newspapers, outlets in France, they mentioned the possibility of Paris Saint-Germain late hijack for Yann Diomande. A really important newspaper in France said there is this possibility for PSG to try reactivate the deal at the very end, despite Real Madrid. What I'm told, guys, is few things. So let's clarify something on this story. First point, Paris Saint-Germain are completely out of this deal since Saturday. Paris Saint-Germain are aware of Real Madrid already closing a deal with Red Bull Leipzig, and so Paris Saint-Germain on Saturday have left every conversations. Paris Saint-Germain are not working on any hijack. This is the message coming from Paris Saint-Germain already since Saturday. Paris Saint-Germain are also very upset with people close to the player. Paris Saint-Germain are upset for how the situation happened. Paris Saint-Germain are furious and unhappy with the Diomande story. But for Paris Saint-Germain, the file has been closed on Saturday. Then, second, Real Madrid have everything in place with Red Bull Leipzig. There is a feeling that Red Bull Leipzig are working on the replacement before giving the green light to the player to fly. So this is the only reason why we are waiting. But Red Bull Leipzig are working behind the scenes to get a new player up front, but Yann Diomande is verbally agreed to become a new Real Madrid player. There is no doubt. Real Madrid are absolutely relaxed on this one. Real Madrid have everything ready to proceed with the Yan Diomande deal. I can tell you that internally, Jose Mourinho with his staff has already started playing with the tactics of how to involve Yan Diomande. He can play on the right in the idea of Jose Mourinho, sometimes also on the left. So Real Madrid are already working on the tactical plan with Yan Diomande involved as part of their squad, while today. So guys, on this and much more, remember to let me know your opinion. Yan Diomande, Luis Diaz, Michael Olise, Bradley Barcola, Savinho, Harry Kane, many names, many movements, many things are happening. As always, guys, remember to like this video, to turn on the notification bell, to subscribe to the channel, because we are here together every day. As you can see, the market is going completely crazy, so I wait for your news and your point of view on the news here in the comments.